1914 has handled as much as a 300% overload. Revolving at 294 revolutions per minute through reduction gears, this 300 horsepower motor turns the gigantic 12-foot driver. It is this driver which actually propels the endless cable through the streets. After leaving the driver, the cable goes spinning round the big winders and out into the underground conduit for its journey beneath the streets of San Francisco. Slack in the cable, which varies with the load and pull upon it, is taken up by the tension wheel. This acts almost like a yo-yo, in slow motion that is. The cable speed is 9 miles an hour. There are approximately 17 miles of cable in use in San Francisco, and the longest single cable is a little over 3.5 miles. Hurrying endlessly to the outside world spins the lifeline of the traditional cable cars, protected by that familiar steel line slot. Constantly scanning the cable is a strand alarm, which instantly detects any rough or worn spots with a flashing signal and a warning bell. The equipment is stopped immediately for inspection, but repairs are usually made after the system is shut down at midnight. The damaged section is cut out and the two ends of the cable are unraveled. These are forced together preparatory to making the actual splice, which is about 60 feet in length and requires about 6 hours to complete. The rope is merely used to hold the cables while the work is being done. All but the last two strands are handled in the same manner, so we see the cablemen ready to complete their exacting job. The strand is cut to length and is unraveled further along the cable. The long length of strand from the joining cable end is then wrapped to take its place. Remember, there can be no evidence of a splice, no bulges, and no depressions. Otherwise, the cable will wear quickly and may cause trouble in its journey through the underground conduit. When the substitute strand is wrapped into the old strand's position, it is pounded firmly into place. The last two opposite strands are quickly but carefully taped by the skilled workmen. These will be used as a core for the repaired section, a section as good as new. The old core of the cable, which is made of rope, is then pulled out. It comes out easily. That is, it does if you know how. Every step in this operation, from first to last, requires first-class know-how. When the old core is removed, the newly taped core is wound into the center of the cable. Here's how it is done, and the work crews make it look as uncomplicated as Grandma handling yarn. At completion of winding in the taped core, the joining rope core is cut to meet it exactly. Finally, the entire splice is pounded firmly together. It's quite a trick making the two hammers meet the cable at precisely the same instant. Nothing wrong with it now. This mechanism is known as a grip and is mounted in the cable car to grab the moving cable. How does it work? Simple. The cable is held between the two jaws, and to stop the car, the lever is pushed forward, thus releasing the cable. To start, the lever is pulled back, causing the jaws to take hold again. This lower section of the grip extends through the track slot and remains below the surface of the street. Tremendous pressure is exerted on the cable by easy operation of the grip. So that the jaws won't grip too suddenly and start the car with a jerk, the cables are bathed with a lubricant. Inquiries about cable cars come from all over the world. India, Africa, the Orient, everywhere. Yes, the cable car is a trademark for the city by the Golden Gate. Regular daily cable car service is provided by the old Powell Street line, now part of the municipal network, and was originally built in 1887. There is also the California Street Cable Railroad Company's line. The California cable cars are 30 feet long and seat 34 passengers. Yes, a great crowd of 34. But they've carried as many as 135 breath-holding commuters at peak periods. All you need is a toe hold and a prayer. cars have a center cabin with open bays at both ends. When this car reaches the terminal, it crosses over onto the return tracks by means of a switch and is ready to go in the opposite direction. The gripman, motorman to you, merely leaves one end of the car and goes to the other. It's as simple as that. Now he's ready for the return run. When the gripman pulls the lever, the jaws of the grip grab the cable, and the car is promptly put in motion, traveling, of course, at the same speed as the cable movement. It may not be fast, but it's sure. With the Muni cars, it's different. These are a mere 25 feet long and seat 30 passengers. At only one end of the cabin is there an open bay. Here, to get ready for the return trip, the car rolls onto a turntable, a flat 16-foot disc with a wooden top set flush with the street. At Powell and Market, there's usually a crowd waiting to get aboard. An attendant releases the turntable lock. Then the gripman and conductor push the car around. But bystanders often cheerfully lend a hand, especially those who are waiting to get aboard. It's part of the cable car tradition. It is necessary to push the car off the turntable preparatory to its return trip. The Muni car's takeoff is similar to that of the California line. Means of locomotion is by grasping the moving cable with the grip. When ready to start, the gripman merely pulls the long handle of the lever, the grip grabs the cable, and up Powell we go, one of the busiest and most widely known thoroughfares in all San Francisco. And our car, holding tightly onto its cable, delights the visitors and native San Franciscans with the unending panorama of famous landmarks. Union Square, the St. Francis Hotel, and many other points of interest dear to the hearts of San Franciscans and visitors alike unfold before us. How do the cables cross at intersections? Why don't the cables get fouled? Many of us have asked ourselves that question. The answer can be explained at this typical crossing of Powell and California Streets. Note that the two lines cross without trouble. No tangling of underground cables. Here we have a diagram view of the crossing. Note the position of the grip, of cable and pulleys, and also the slight dip in the tracks. Also, we have the crossing of the California line and the cable to be crossed. When a car approaches the crossing, the gripman releases the cable. The car coasts across the intersection. The gripman pulls the lever, the grip grabs that friendly cable again, and the car is under cable control. Now, once more, the car approaches the intersection, the grip releases the cable, the car coasts over the crossing, and enters the track dip, permitting the grip to seize the cable again. This procedure is only necessary for one of the crossing lines, which in this case is the Powell Street car. The opposing California cars are unaffected. The Powell Street gripman releases the cable, and the car coasts calmly over the tracks. The gripman makes a grab for the cable again, and the car, now attached to the unseen cable, continues on its rollicking way. The next car, approaching, will repeat the performance. Afraid of a runaway car? Don't be, for every car has several brakes. The conductor controls a handbrake. The gripman has his track brake, plus a foot brake. Yes, they can really stop. For emergency, there is the slot brake, which means stop right now. It is a wedge-shaped piece of metal that is forced into the slot. The brakes are released by the conductor and gripman, and the car moves down the hill, but still safely under cable control. On a downgrade, gripping of the cable means additional safety. No wonder the conductor is calloused. curves are navigated in two ways and are known as the pull curve and the free or let-go curve. These turns always thrill the visitor with a quick tipping swing of the car. All brakes, of course, must be off. As a precautionary warning, the gripman always calls out, "Hold on, look out for the curve." The passengers brace themselves and no one takes a header into the street. A pull curve is one in which the car's grip continues to hold onto the cable while making the turn. With the cover plates removed next to the curved grip slot, we easily see the mechanism. The full length of the curve is lined with a series of pulleys guiding the cable, almost but not quite in the position of the car's grip. The grip actually just misses the pulleys and holds the cable slightly away from them while making the turn. As the car makes the turn, the grip pulls the cable away from the pulleys, and the cable slips back onto the pulleys as the car continues around. Different from the pull curve is the let-go curve. In the let-go curve, the gripman releases the cable and the car simply coasts around. But only few passengers are aware of such technicalities. To them, one curve is very much like another. It was hills like this that were responsible for the cable car. And Hyde Street is the steepest cable car climb in San Francisco today. It was to these carmen that Gillette Burgess penned his immortal poem, The Ballad of the Hyde Street Grip. Almost 22% grade, but easy does it. With a backdrop of Alcatraz Island, a picturesque car comes up a picturesque hill. Many scenic and historic views unfold before the toy-like cable cars, such as San Francisco's famous waterfront, and close to colorful Fisherman's Wharf. Here, crab meat, shrimp, and other delicacies of the deep may be had from the shouting, singing vendors. In season, the fishing boats make daily trips, often racing each other home to be the first with the day's catch. Just like a sightseeing bus, here's Coit Tower. The cable car lines pass many landmarks in one part of the city and another, traverse pleasant residential districts, old and new, well-kept homes with spacious grounds and marine views, homes reflecting wealth, culture, and refinement, the homes of pioneers and the homes of modern industrialists. Cable cars give a friendly introduction to the city. We pass an exact replica of an early church in Spain, Old St. Mary's Church, built in 1854, and standing at the gateway to incense-burning Chinatown. Narrow streets and alleys here, quaint bazaars, sing-song of shopkeepers, shuffling and chatter of thousands of Orientals, strange customs and strange dress, all within a few steps of our cable car. Up and up we go, atop historic Nob Hill, where stands the Mark Hopkins Hotel, originally the site of a pretentious home built by the millionaire Mark Hopkins. The world-famous Fairmont Hotel, and the Pacific Union Club, the former mansion of James C. Flood, Bonanza King. In the late 1800s, a glittering brass fence costing $60,000 surrounded it. Yes, we bow to the marvels of the modern age, to the great engineers and geniuses of speed, but we reserve a very special salute to the men who pioneered the cable car, the dinky, swaggering, wonderful cable car. Can anyone ride the old cable cars without a nostalgic thrill for the long-gone yesterday? May those brave and swaying old relics, those treasured old relics, the ancient cable cars of San Francisco, never reach the end of the line.